What is good, everybody? You know what it is. Let me see if we live up in here. Yeah, there it is. You know what it is. Big game, James, man. You know what it is. My guy, Mike White, Burgers and Blitzes tonight. You know what it is. Every Thursday night, you know how we do it. We bring the Burgers and Blitzes, talk about kind of what's going on with Cowboys, just Cowboy football. You know how we do it. We be jumping off the top turnbuckle. We don't give a hell. So what's up? Good. What's good, my guy?
Oh, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out. What's going on with you, Bubba? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Like I said, I was woke up this morning. I was okay, but then when I seen your post today, your Bug Bones Thug and Harmony, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's
It's
the
the
first
fourth of
fourth
the
of the month.
month.
Get up, get up, get up. You can sign that Prescott and come up. I mean,
Yes, sir.
I'm like all over that for
Name
real.
me a
Like
more fire remix. I mean, try.
I don't think anybody's touching that, dog. Like
No,
straight up. I don't think nobody's touching that. That is all yours for real.
maybe the remix of Ignition, but we don't talk about that one. So,
Nah. We ain't gonna talk about that one, dog. But hey, let me give a few shout outs to the people that's in the building. My dog KMT. Hey ho, Texas Bred Cowboys 83, John Mode. Motley, what's up? C. Burleson, what's good with you? Keep on coming in the building. The ninja with the $5 haul off the top turnbuckle. You know how we do it. Everybody's coming up in here. David 23. Keep on coming. Boo thing.
thank
You know
y'all.
she's
Thank
in
y'all.
there.
Thank y'all for hanging out. I really appreciate it.
Shunda Johnson. Hey man, you popular, dog. As soon as I post burgers and blitzes, they are all over it. They're like, yeah, we ready for Mike. Cause hey, you bring it, dog. You bring that real. And last week, I'm gonna keep it real. Last week was probably the best I just ever heard you. You was just preaching. You was preaching, Mike.
It hurt me. It hurt me. I had to walk that one off, bud. To be honest, because I don't like bringing that. I really don't, because that stuff comes from down here, and it hurt,
Uh-huh.
like that stuff that that burp that comes up from the chest. That
Yep.
shit hurts, man. And I didn't, man. It hurt because I try to push all that back, and it came out last week, and it is what it is.
It
So
is what it is. That's all it is what it is. So I mean, you can't fight truth, and sometimes truth hurts, and sometimes it comes out it hurts. But at the end
yeah,
of the day, it's still truth.
yeah,
You feel me?
yeah.
Hey, my dog, the Ninja Kid Roscoe, keep on coming up in here. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Today is the 4th. The 9th is what the official, is that the last official day or is that the official day they can franchise tag Dak Prescott?
That's the opening of the franchise tag deadline. The franchise tag, quote unquote, deadline, I believe, is the 19th of July, give or
19th
take.
of July.
Give or take 5 days. I don't, because everything's all fucky with the corona. Like the franchise tag and leap years and all that. Like it's usually, give or take, within 6 days of July 15th is the franchise tag date. So it was July 15th last year, was July 12th, I believe, the year before that. So somewhere around there, it will be within 5 days of July 12th, 15th. So that's the quote unquote deadline.
All right, so let's just keep it real, dog. You told me off rip. I mean, when we talked, I think this was maybe over a month ago. You said he is going to get franchise tag. That is going to, and it's nothing to be alarmed about. We had already talked about this. It was nothing to be alarmed about.
Mm-hmm.
But he was going to get franchise tag, but that was going to be the start of the negotiations. We
Yes.
still standing true with that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it because it's not that I want that to happen. I just know how this team operates, and I know that because they're already, the Demarcus Lawrence rework is already in the books. The Amari Cooper rework is already in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's breaking news. They're they're restructuring Amari Cooper and Demarcus Lawrence, and they're going to flip those triggers, and they're going to move. They're going to make room because, quote unquote, they do have enough money right now to franchise Dak, but they're not going to do that move without making cap room. This team does not do it. They're not going to go over, because if they franchise Dak right now, they would, quote unquote, be over the tag by, I think, they
10,
over the cap by
10K?
No, yes, no, it's 2 or 3 million. They would be
Okay.
quote unquote over the cap, and so they're not going to do that. The Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence franchise reworks are already in the books, and that's going to free up the money that they can franchise Dak and still have a little wiggle room because Stephen Jones loves his sweet, sweet cap space. Oh, sweet cat boy. So that is not necessarily a negative. It's going to be spun as a negative through the media. It's going to be spun as a negative on Twitter. But the fact of the matter is, Todd France and Dak want that franchise tag because that's a starting point of the negotiations. It's $37.5 million, period. So the APY, you got to make the contract worth me not taking that up. Because we all know Catboy loves his cat space.
Right.
And they would actually, they could drop Dak's cap hit this year to like 30, 31 by signing him. You could literally save $7 million off the cap this year by rolling that into the signing bonus and like, don't catch me lying about contracts. I'm not going to pretend I know about contracts, but I know that much about them that when you could roll that into a signing bonus and defer that cap hit way down. You could, because it's going to be 37.5 is what the franchise tag is, period. And they know that. So once that cap is set with the franchise tag, that's a negotiation point. You want me to sign a deal? Let's figure this out. Let's get this lower.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think there's truth in this, that we're hearing that Stephen Jones and Todd France, the talks are more positive than they were last year? There's not as much contention as it was last year. Because first of all, I heard, Mike, that Stephen wasn't going to be really all involved in this because it was going to be more Jerry, because it was contentious last year with Stephen. So Jerry was going to be more the bridge.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, I told you last week that Stephen Jones and Todd France hadn't spoken in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That changed last weekend.
So that's
the fact is that they actually spoke. That's positive because those two dudes haven't said a word to each other in 2 years.
Really?
No. They like Todd France and Stephen Jones fucking hate each other.
Why is this?
Because Stephen Jones is a bully, and he spent 3 decades burning bridges and running over everybody he could, while Daddy smoothed everything over.
Oh yeah, my bad, KMT. Baby Nuts Jones, my fault.
That's Catboy. That's Catboy.
Yeah, so that my bad, KMT, Baby Nuts Jones. So the fact that they're at least speaking, that's a positive. So
yeah,
does that make you feel better? I mean,
yeah,
we
talked about it does, but I have no faith whatsoever in it getting done before the tag deadline.
Oh, it's not going to get done before the tag. Well, okay, so the tag deadline is what, July, right?
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
Before the March 9th.
Yeah, March 9th.
Yeah, it's not happening. We know that.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, we know that's not going to happen.
But what's funny about that is we also know that they're going to use that 37.5. We all know that. Your mom knows that. My grandma knows that. She's dead. She's been dead for 3 years. She knows that. Everybody knows that they're going to use that tag cap as the negotiation point. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference in it being signed now, or March 9th, or July 15th, or, May 3rd? Does it even matter? The fact of the matter is they know that's what it's going to be. And the whole thing is just silly. It's so frustrating.
Now, let me ask you this, Mike. I got a shout out from Gabe Arrowwood. He says, "Hey, Mike." So that's a little shout out to you.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by, Bubba.
Yes. So here's my thing, Mike. We know that the deal's not going to get done before March 9th.
I would be
shocked.
I would be absolutely shocked.
I would be shocked if that happened. I would be absolutely, like you, I would be absolutely shocked.
We all know what it's going to be. It's like all they had to do. They keep talking about the years. It's nothing about the years.
Mhm.
Like the years matter, but all they had to do was bump that guaranteed percentage up over Tannehill last year. The fact of the matter is, the contract that they offered Dak Prescott, the quote unquote final 11th hour contract that they
Uh-huh.
said that they almost got done, was
Right.
less guaranteed percent money than Tannehill got.
Really?
You know who Tannehill's agent is? Todd France. They're trying to piss on his leg and tell him it's raining, bud. You know, that's a fact of the matter. You can't look me in the eye and tell me that Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Exactly.
No, you better go on get.
Right.
Go on
Get all the way the hell on.
All take that shit outside. Maybe the squirrels will care. I hope they don't care, and I hope to bite you in the nuts.
And
The
you know,
fact of the
Stephen Jones knows he's the representative to Tannehill, and he knows the APR was lower. So
Yes.
yes, and this like Todd France came out and said, because now you know they're painting him as the bad guy with that proposal, like what Mike Fisher came out. I don't care about that.
He was going to be the highest paid quarterback in the
Right,
NFL.
right.
Here's the deal. I did this on Twitter 4 days ago. The fact of the matter is, any starting quarterback worth his salt in the NFL and the history of the NFL has been the highest paid player in the NFL at some point in time in his career, period. Russell Wilson's been that 3 times. Tony Romo was that twice. Tom Brady's been that 4 times. That's the quarterback market is what it is. And they want to say, oh, they offered him a 5-year contract. Yeah, it was a 5-year contract. The same way that Jimmy Garoppolo's contract was a 5-year contract. Those last 3 years are fake money.
Right.
That's fake money. And it was a lowered guaranteed percent. They changed the date on that contract 3 times and kept offering him that golf deal and tried to act like it was a new deal.
So that's why they were like, to hell with you.
Mm-hmm. And that's why that's why the talks broke off, because you're on that bullshit.
But you spin in the media, oh, we offered him a big contract. We offered him a 5-year deal.
Yeah. Mike Fisher's, they tried to make him the highest paid player in the history of the league. Fucking hell, man. Wide receivers been the highest paid player in the history of the league several times over. You know, don't miss me with that. Miss me with that entirely. It's all about what is the structure of the contract. And the reality of it was a 3-year contract with 2 years of fake money that was extremely backloaded. That would have paid him 25 APY and then 29.5 APY. And then the last 3 was 30 to make up the difference. That's what it was. Allegedly. I'm sorry. I have no inside information.
Yes, you do. That's why I love you. That's why you on here every goddamn Thursday. Excuse me, Lord. I didn't mean to say goddamn. Forgive me right now. But,
allegedly.
Now, let me ask you this, big dog. We got the draft coming around the corner. We both don't believe that this deal is going to be done before March 9th. So he's going to get tagged. Mm-hmm. Now, let's say it's driving into April and this draft comes around, Mike.
I'm going to move to the woods. Dude.
Do you think they would go that route? Do you? Do you think they would go that route? April draft. Dak is not signed yet.
The draft's in May, but
May.
I don't want to say it. I think they would draft Mac Jones because he looks like a quarterback and he would put on the white linens and go on vacation with him.
Do you have a feeling they're going to draft a quarterback?
No.
Okay.
But I also know that these motherfuckers wouldn't know a quarterback if they fell into him, because the only quarterbacks they've had since Troy Aikman, they drunk stubble to on accident. If it wasn't for fucking Wade Wilson, we wouldn't have Tony Romo nor Dak Prescott.
I'm just, in my opinion, I'm just, you know, I don't know what to even say about it. I want to believe, maybe if I keep on telling myself they ain't going to do it, it will happen, Mike. But this thing is funny because I mean, I'm living off of what you just said right now, that the fact that they talk, that's positivity. But when I heard Todd France say, "Hey, it's not our fault about this damn cap. It's about respect."
Mm-hmm.
So if I
And
feel like when he says that, they ain't budging.
it and hey Gabe, hey, shout out to you, April 29th. Sorry, but I really thought that I thought that the draft was the first weekend of May. So about the respect, Mike Fisher wants to come on the radio and say, no, they offered him respect. They offered him 5-year, 135, whatever it was. That wasn't respect. It was a fake contract. It was in the final, like like I said, those last years were fake money. It's not about, and they have repeatedly negotiated through the media, talking about, oh, they're not sure if he's the guy, and there's this, that, and the other, and they try to get Paxton. Like it's about respect. It's not about just the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the way they've approached this entire situation.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Mike. And I have said this a few times, on my solo, that if you're the quarterback and you hear your owner, or I mean GM, whatever, I think Steven is the GM now, in my opinion. But if you hear them coming out and they're saying, well, he needs to spread it out to everybody, and you hear them saying Zeke is the straw that stirs the drink. I mean, how are you as a quarterback, you the franchise quarterback, you're hearing this and you're believing them? So when we say this is about respect, there's been a whole lot of disrespect to me, in my opinion, to Dak Prescott. So, and Dak has been the good soldier. He's still done everything the right way.
Dak got Jason Garrett another 3 years on his job.
Right.
By converting 43% of his third downs in his rookie year. And everybody wants to talk about, oh, Zeke was this and Zeke was that. Yes, okay. Here's the deal. Zeke was fantastic his rookie year. No, not taking that away from him. The fact of the matter is he still needed Dak Prescott to bail the team out on third down to continue the drive. Because you know what 4 and 5 adds up to? 9. Not 10. Not 11, not 12, and Dak Prescott got 7.7 yards per completion on third down. He was 96 of 125 tries, and he went for 1,713 yards and had I think it was 6 touchdowns on third down, bailing the team out, and they gave Jason Garrett Coach of the Year.
And remember, Dak wasn't even going to be the second string. It was Kellen Moore.
No, he was 4th string quarterback. He was behind Jamil Showers.
Wow.
Jamil Showers, Kellen got hurt. Jamil Showers got his foot stepped on, and then Dak Prescott stepped in and ran the first string offense. And from literally that second, despite what anybody wants to believe, I'm going to say this right now, from that very snap in training camp, it was Dak Prescott's team.
Yes.
Period.
And everybody has said it in the locker room. We've had guys on here, Mike, that have been in the locker room and said A1 day one. They said from Dak took over the locker room. And I'm gonna keep it real. Like my guy Matt Johnson, a whole bunch of those guys said, I love Romo. I love him, and he took over when he needed to, but he's not the leader like Dak it was.
Romo is Ian Kinsler. Romo is Ian Kinsler. When he's not a leader, he's a very good player. He's a very good player, but he doesn't want to be that guy, and he doesn't want to be forced into that role. And when he was forced in that role, he never really wanted it.
He was never comfortable with it.
No, and that's not a
okay.
shot at him.
That's not his fault.
People have this weird memory. The first time that the entire team was invited over to Romo's house was the Tuesday after Dak Prescott long-dicked the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2016. That was the very, very, very first time. And then nobody showed up. I say nobody showed up. There was a few: Doug Free, Jason Witten, Jeff Heath.
Yeah,
showed up. We know who showed up, and then we got the Football is a Meritocracy press conference that he set up on his own shortly after that. So to tie that back together, if you do not pay Dak Prescott, if you try to run this dude off or you trade for Russell Wilson, I don't give a fuck who it is. Say you trade for Trevor Lawrence, you go get the new messiah of the draft. You might as well rip the walls out of this team and put an estate sale in the front yard, because this team is dead without Dak Prescott, period. We saw it happen. We saw it happen October 11th. We saw what this team did. He got hurt and this team died, period. You ripped the heart out of this team.
And I'm gonna keep it real, bouncing off that, Mike. The team, like, it will still be the Cowboys. You feel me, Mike? It will still be the Cowboys. They will still be there. But I'm agree with you. Like, if they were to get another quarterback, I mean, fine. It is what it is. But you're gonna take a huge chunk.
Might as well reset the whole thing. Might as well. And this team,
reset, change the whole team around this new quarterback, because these guys believe in Dak.
I normally am. Dak Prescott is the only person in the history of my fandom. Dude, I'm 35. I've been a Cowboys fan my entire fucking life.
Right.
This is the only player in the history of my fandom that has tested my allegiance versus a team. And you get this dude, the way this team bonded around this guy. If you lose Dak, you might as well rip the walls out and rebuild. And this team is not ready to rebuild. There's some holes you need to fill. You have a one tech, you have a defensive tackle, and you have a free safety position that you desperately need to fill. You have a strong safety in Wilson. You have a linebacker. We can figure that out. We can really, really figure that out. But as far as everything else, you're not in rebuild mode. Like, Houston's in rebuild mode. They could trade Watson. Trading Watson is arguably one of the smartest thing they could do right now, because that team's toast. But this team, we have Amari Cooper. We have, assuming you don't trade him, you have one more year of Gallup. You have CeeDee Lamb. You have a solid offensive line. You have Zeke for whatever I care about him.
And they're all waiting for Dak to come back.
And if you load he's the last Infinity Ring. You have one more year. So that's why I think he's going to end up playing on attack.
I mean, I think he is too.
He's not going to show up. He's not going to be at OTAs. He's not going to be at training camp. It's not going to happen.
He's going to be serious about this.
Allegedly. Sorry. Allegedly. He's not going to he's
not going to come. Would you? I wouldn't know. He's not playing around this time, Big Mike. And when I hear Todd friends saying it's about respect, that's what it is now.
It's time to be the bad
guy. That guy.
It's time to be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, DeMarcus Lawrence had to hold the fucking shoulder surgery over their head for 4 months until they paid him. He ended up showing up and we know what happened there. Zeke had to run to Cabo. Dez Bryant was on the trade block. You know, every premier player that they've had since Stephen Jones has been in charge of the camp has been drugged through the mud publicly until he gets paid, unless he walks into the office with lipstick on his butt cheeks with his pants down.
That's funny when you say that, but it's so the truth, man.
Tyron Smith and Lael Collins are the only ones, and Tyron's like
because Tyron isn't that money guy. That's why they could finesse him.
And if we want to go back into it, like Tyron Smith's. Do we not remember Tyron Smith's family got barred from the training facility because they was wild.
His family was wild.
He's like, I'm not about the money. I just want security. Can you sign me? And can we get these? Like there was a clause anyway. And the contract with Tyron Smith was so bad that the NFLPA actually got upset about it. If we want to go back to that, because
talk about it.
It was such an under market deal to this day. Like it's even more like people move on from Tyron, but fuck, man, like if you want to get 12 games of Tyron, that's still way, way, way under market for the type of player he is. Like, don't don't game plan for him being your future. But the fact of the matter is his contract is so cheap right now. It's insane to try to act like you want to move on from him, because
that's why they don't. That's why everybody saves him, because they're like, that contract. That's the first thing they say, Mike. When you mention Tyron Smith, they don't want to get rid of him because that contract friendly thing right there.
People are really, really hard on this offensive line. Like, people were hard on Terrence Steele last year, and I understand he struggled the first half of the season. But the fact of the matter is, the dude was a UDFA Big 12 tackle, and he finished out the year better in pass block win rate than the two offensive tackles that were drafted in the top 50. What else do you want from the guy? They're so used, like, people were wanting this Great Wall of 2016, and I'm old enough to remember the Great Wall of 2016 where people were trying to cut Doug Free because he was quote unquote trash. And then Doug Free retired, and they're like, "Oh wait, Doug, please come back, please." No, we was just kidding. We was just kidding.
I wasn't one of them. I wasn't one of those.
But
people. I told Doug Free, get your ass on and get the hell out of here. Thank you. Appreciate you. Get the hell on.
I'm right. Like, people, cut Doug Free. Well, the fact of the matter is, Doug Free was a starting left tackle for like 25 teams that year, and he was your right tackle, barely, like, it. So, and Doug Free left, and we've seen what Zeke did since then. But that's another conversation.
But you know what? And I want to ask you something, Mike.
Yes, sir.
I was talking about this a few days ago, and I just want to get your thoughts on it. I was saying that the Cowboys love getting these people that are almost like downtrodden, almost kind of like in this feeble state. So when they come to the organization, they're always coming in saying, "Oh, I'm so grateful for this position. I'm so happy that the Cowboys gave me a chance. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity." Just like when you just said with Tyron Smith, please just get my family away from me. I just want to find out. Okay, we got you. So we're going to lowball you. La'el Collins, you was not drafted. You had that thing holding over your head. And what did La'el Collins kept on saying? I'm just grateful that the Cowboys, I'm grateful for what they did for me. I'm grateful. Even when they got Mike Nolan, this is the best job. I'm so grateful that they got this opportunity. When I keep hearing these guys keep on, even Mike McCarthy, after he got brought on, I'm sure Jimmy Johnson, when he first got on, I'm happy to be a Dallas Cowboy coach. But after that, he like, I ain't saying that shit no more. I heard Mike McCarthy say it like 2 or 3 more times during the season. I'm grateful and I'm happy to, be a head coach of this. It's almost like they get people that are on this, oh, I'm grateful, so they can control them and manipulate them to what they want to do, instead of getting those guys that are coming in here with their chest out like, hey, I don't give a hell you of Jerry Jones. I'm running it like this. They don't want them hype people. What's your thoughts?
I mean, Mike McCarthy's a bum.
I mean, look at Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, did he come in with his chest out? No, he came in with his tail between his legs because he got fired and he was 0-5.
He was fired, and we're not. Well, we talked about defensive coordinators last week, and in case anybody missed it, defensive coordinators are a product of their players. I don't give a fuck who it is. Wade Phillips, yada 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 yada. I don't care who it is. The league is littered with defensive coordinators who got fired once their talent ran out. But as far as head coaches go, Mike McCarthy lied to get here, and he may be a bum. And he probably is a bum, but he's still better than Jason Garrett.
Right.
That's it. I mean, that's not that bar is that high, but the fact of the matter is this team doesn't win those games we won last year with Jason Garrett coaching.
True story.
I mean, that is what it is. I don't care how you feel about the guy. I mean, say that with a straight face. Jason Garrett doesn't win those games last year, period. He doesn't.
But don't you think, like I was saying, that they get people like that? They don't get
no. I get that. I get that for sure. And then again, you can't exactly hire the up and coming DC or OC away from somewhere unless you make him a head coach. And we can fault them for their process and hire McCarthy because he was I think he was a third person they interviewed. We can fault them on that.
Yeah, they didn't even look around. I mean, they didn't do it with Dan Quinn either, though. They were already talking about him. When they mentioned him, I already knew it was going to be Dan Quinn. I'm going to keep it real. I knew it was going to be Dan Quinn. Once he got mentioned, I said they're hiring him because all they're going to do is look at Legion of Boom. That's all they're doing.
And that ties back into what I said, that your defensive coordinator is a product of his talent. Period. There's certain schemes, like there's certain blitz patterns and shit like that you can do, but what? I'm sorry. This comment just threw me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ignore that. Anyway. That's some nonsense. Yeah. So, I mean, we saw it. Quote unquote, Bill Belichick has been the greatest defensive coordinator in the history of the NFL for so on and so forth. What happened this year when his defensive talent opted out? And the only person
regular.
What happened? And the only person he had was Gilmore, who was coming off of an injury. Was Gilmore? Shit, Gilmore maybe? No, he was coming off an injury. So what happened there? That is what it is. So, but offensive coordinator and head coach can mean something. And
offensively, just look at the drafts. Just look at the offensive drafts, dog.
It happens. I mean, Andy Reid made Alex Smith look like a poverty Patrick Mahomes for that year when he was test driving the offense. Your offensive coordinator and your head coach can mean something. Your defensive coordinator can't. And I'm not exactly sure if I am sure that Mike McCarthy isn't the edge, but he's definitely better than Jason Garrett. And that's pretty much where I stand on it. Because at no point in Jason Garrett's 10-year tenure did we ever remotely think, oh, Jason Garrett won us that game. He went for that. He went for that fourth down, or that was a smart timeout, or this, that, or the other. It absolutely zero. There's absolutely zero times. It is 100 and shit. 100. I think it's 193 games he played, including playoffs. He was a coach. Not once. Not once.
So, I mean, is there a silver lining? Because I made this post, Mike, and I said about the 2010, remember when we talked about how they're terrible with drafting on defense, but they, they do hella job on offense, but they're terrible at drafting on defense. They don't have the mindset. So I just said, well, let me go back and look at some stuff. Since 2010, these are the defensive tackles we drafted, and this was 2010 when Jay Ratliff was on his way out, and then they had Josh Brandt, but we've seen what happened with him. Sean Lessamore, Ken Bishop, Malik Collins, Joey Ivy, Jordan Carroll, Tristan Hill, Neville Gallimore.
Stop! Stop! Exactly. I'm already dead.
Exactly.
I'm already dead. Dude.
Exactly. You want me to read it again? No.
I will actually drive to where you're at and kick your mailbox down. Please, for the love of God, stop.
Did you see that list?
That shit hurts so bad, dude.
That's trash.
Shit hurts so bad. And my only hope, and that's all we have. That's all we have is Dan Quinn, every defense he's ever had has had a heavy actual one tech and a safety.
And that's the only thing that can really help us in this, that he does that.
And, with the way we saw, like we talked about last week, the way I talked about them having, the way they let Marinelli have his way with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
If they let Dan Quinn have his way with the draft, we're going to get a defensive tackle and a safety. That's all we have at this point, because they're not gonna go get them until proven otherwise, and they can't scout defensive talent until proven otherwise. Right. But at least maybe they'll try.
Well, to me, this is showing a little bit, Mike, that you know what? Obviously they're not doing the job on that tip, but just like you said, what they did with Rob Marinelli, they kind of let Marinelli come in and kind of, oh, I want this, I want that, so we can make this defense work. And just like you said, when you look at Dan Quinn, he always has that one tech. We have three techs, but he gets a one tech. If you go through all his drafts, he almost gets at least two defensive tackles per draft.
A knuckle dragging, slobber knocking, fucking actual 325 pounds.
Yes, he gets those. He has not drafted a defensive tackle under 305.
And we haven't drafted a defensive tackle under over 315 since 2012 when we picked the Blades, and he was, well, I don't want to talk about that. I'm sorry, 2002.
Wow. So, but like you said, Quinn does get those one techs. And like I said, with about 10 picks, hopefully this year, I think we will get two defensive tackles this year. I do feel like if it's up to Quinn.
And if we don't, you know that nothing is changing.
Right.
That's our only. I mean,
they're already talking. Are they really talking about bringing back McCoy? Would you be cool with that? I'm not.
It depends on the money, man, because they already. Once again, I do not talk contracts. When I get talking in the contracts, I step on my own dick when I talk on contracts. But the way I feel, the way they structured his contract with that injury clause in it, and they knew, and he stuck around and he coached Gallimore last year. I feel like they can get him back on some type of cheap money, especially with the way the cap's going down this year. And there's going to be a lot of free agents on especially defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
That defensive tackle free agent market is going to be fierce.
I know it, and it was good last year.
It's going to be fierce this year. I've been talking about it. I've been talking
Denver's
about
already talking about making Shelby Harris their priority, though.
I've been talking about this shit since January. The way the cap is going, quote unquote, when the cap goes down, even if it's only $3 million, it's down 10 to 15 because the league is so used to the cap going up. So when it doesn't stay regular, not only goes down, that's a whole different ball game. And we've already been seeing it this year. Next week, like as that NFL exec said, it's going to be a massacre. There's going to be a lot of free agents on the market that you wouldn't normally see. So Stephen Jones' tier 4 free agency in August could inadvertently, accidentally be, tier 2.5, tier 2, because there's going to be these teams. There's a lot of teams. I know that quote unquote the cap isn't real and there's stuff you can work around it.
They're cutting these players.
There's going to be a lot of players cut.
And they talked about that at the beginning of the year, that they're not talking about it now. They weren't talking about now, but what I'm saying is they were already saying at the beginning of the year, Mike, that there is going to be a mass unloading of players because they're going to be paranoid about that cap. And you said, unusual amount of players that would not be available any other time will be available this year because of that cap.
So when Stephen Jones tells you that they can't sign free agents because of the cap, if he signed Dak Prescott, they could sign more free agents because of the cap.
This could be the year you could really indulge because
thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So if they signed Dak Prescott this year, they could drop his cap hit to $30.5 million easily, because they could tie it in the signing bonuses and this, that, and the other. So it drops his tag literally $7.5 million. And there's going to be a couple defensive tackles and probably a safety. And you could get a defensive tackle and a safety for $7.5 million and do quite a bit with his defense. It's that simple. And if you want to cut Jalen Smith June 1st, we can save another 7.5.
That's not going to happen. I don't know why that's even ever brought up. You know damn well Jerry Jones loves Jalen. That's not happening. because the thing is, just like you heard a comment in there and you didn't want to address it, but Jalen Barty did say that they're going to be looking at we can bring back Jalen, because think about it, they're all screaming 2018, 2018, like that was the best defense in the world for the Dallas Cowboys. That defense was average, and we're jumping up and doing backflips. That let's get back to 2018. Let's get back to 2018 defense. That defense was average. It was okay, but since Dallas ain't had no damn defenses in forever, it seems like 2018 was the best thing they had. So they're living off of 2018, and it was average. But I'm telling you, and you know it, Mike. We all will say it, but you know that they're not going to do it because they're going to live off that. Well, it's Dan Quinn. He's going to have Jalen back to where he was 2018, where he doesn't have to think so much. He can be just reactionary. But we already heard, Mike, that they're talking about put him at the strong side. And when you're playing strong side and you're playing mostly nickel and dime, strong side ain't in there, dog. Right? Am I wrong?
No, and this would just be a y'all can quote me on this. By the way, burning this into the tree. Quote me on this. Mike White said that when they fire Dan Quinn, he'll be another scapegoat for Jalen Smith in 2022. They will fire yet another DC. They will fire for the third year in a row because the defense is too difficult and this, that, and the other. Because that's how much they believe in that lifetime story disability having player. Jalen Smith has one working leg, and they want to pretend like he can play NFL defense.
I mean, it's what it is. And then we talked about Van Der Esch. Broke up body.
Leighton Vander Esch in his first 3 years available in the NFL played 30 games. Sean Lee in his first 3 years available in the NFL played 32 games. Hurt guys stay hurt. They are not picking up Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option.
Better not. So they have to take a linebacker.
By the way, I don't know if people know this or not, but anybody watching, they have to pick up Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option this summer. They have to pick it up going into his fourth year. If they don't pick it up, or if they do pick it up, either way, But the fact of the matter is they have to pick it up this year. And he's been hurt literally every single year that he's played 11-man football. Trace that back. Fact check it if you don't believe me. Hurt guys stay hurt.
So would you take a linebacker at 10?
Fuck no.
So would you take a 10, big dog?
Waddle.
Take a receiver?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In a heartbeat. And I'm trying
what if Pitts was there? Would you take him if you're talking about Waddle? Or Dallas wouldn't know what to do with him?
That's
Dallas wouldn't know what to do with him?
No, it's not that. I know he's a weapon. I know he's a weapon, but we have Jordan. I know he.
Man, come on, dog. Don't talk to me about no damn Dalton Schultz.
No, I said Jarwin. Okay. I don't fuck Dalton Schultz.
But we still got to see Jarwin in a 16-game season as the lead man.
I know. But drafting, if you're gonna play him at strictly tight ends, drafting tight ends is stupid. Inside the first,
unless you're gonna be super. If you're doing 10 and you're doing strictly tight end, no, you're gonna have to do all kind of things with him and not. Yes. Let's see, that's what I'm worried about, Mike. And I like Kellen Moore, but if you get him at 10, is Kellen Moore going to use him like that? Because he's going to have to.
Yeah. Dude, Kellen, like for anybody, look, once again, you can go back and watch when Kellen Moore was coming out. They were still doing the Gruden QB camp, and you can go watch Kellen Moore come out, and he can describe literally the 2018 Rams offense, like play for play in the Gruden QB camp. He sits there with a laser pointer. That dude will use him. And the reason I want Waddle is this team desperately needs some speed. Yes, speed. And it's. Speed. This is not an Al Davis pick. This isn't Rocket Ismail. This isn't he's super fast and this is what he does. I'm telling you, if anybody has access to college all 22 Just go watch Bama and watch the way Jalen Waddle moves. He completely disrupts the defense, and the way he I tried to make gifs of him, and when I've tried to make gifs, I can't upload them to Twitter because it looks like a flip book if I try to make it in any sort of quality because the megabyte limit cuts it off. He moves different. He's Tyreek Hill with better routes. He's fantastic. He is my number one prospect in the draft.
Number one?
Yeah. I mean,
you mean receiver like?
Yeah, like quarterbacks.
You're saying number one for like the Cowboys. If we were to go out to get a receiver, he'd be your number one guy.
Outside of Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, yes.
And shout out to my dog, the Ninja. He been going nutty with the $5 hollers. I appreciate you, big dog. Love you for life. Shout out to my dog, Steve Lumpton, for the $5 holler on the Cash App. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the building. We got a nice crowd up in here, close to 100 up in the building. Make sure you hit that like button, man. It don't cost you nothing while you listen to this great info. Might be spitting knowledge, man. Get them damn likes up, man. Don't be in the feed just sitting there and listen to the shit. Hit the damn like button, man, because he's saying spitting stuff that you can go home and say, we ain't heard that before. You feel me? So we spitting real knowledge in here, man. If you're in this building and you're listening, hit that damn like button. Don't cost no money. If you ain't really liking it, why you here? You feel me? That just don't make no sense to me, Mike.
There's plenty of stuff you can watch, like Joanna Gaines put more shiplap in a house or something like that if you want.
Yeah, you can do so many other things like this shit, man. You know, feel me? So let's say if they, I already told you, Mike, we already talked about and I want to give you some props on that because, you know, I remember when we talked about Michael Gallup, right? And you made that post. I shared it on my Big Game Change page, and that was a firestorm. Remember, I text you, DM'd you, and I was like, hey, it's wildfire up in here. And I knew it was going to be a bunch of gasoline as soon as I hit send. Because everybody was going to be all emotional. Nah, you're crazy. You're not be trading no Michael Gallup. If anything, I'll trade Cooper over Gallup. That's when I had to just block. I wanted to block them people.
Yeah, you have to. That's
block you. You're just straight on stupid. Don't come to me. And I told you, Cooper be acting goofy to me as far as the because he's just quiet. But that don't mean he ain't no. He's a dog though. Cooper's a dog.
No, I have been one of the biggest Amari Cooper doubters, and then like as far as Cowboys Twitter goes, Amari Cooper's best year in the pros is last year. He was healthy for all 16. He put up over 1,000 yards with some garbage ass quarterbacks.
Right,
garbage, over 70% completion percentage. Like that was one of his that was literally his best year as a pro. And people want to move on from him. No, that's not the one you move on from.
And then you had Michael Gallup, and no, this is no shade, but dog, he had almost 9 drops again.
Mm-hmm. He's got bad hands.
He's a body catcher.
Yeah,
and it's no disrespect to him, but yes, he can make that awesome play. But when you need that third down, he dropped a few touchdowns. He dropped that big touchdown in Arizona when we were driving, and we could have scored a touchdown. And like I said, this is no shade on him. I think Gallup is a tremendous person, and I like his talent. But like you said, you don't pay number twos no $15 million. Mm-hmm. You don't pay him that money when you already got Amari Cooper getting $22 million. You do what you can to get money off of him.
Once again, I said this last week, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it next week, and I'll say it 3 months from now, and I'll say it 3 years from now. You do not pay number 2 wide receivers. You don't do it, period. And they are going to lose. Business. They are going to lose Michael Gallup next summer. They're going to lose him, period. And you're going to get a comp pick in 2023, a late day 2 comp pick, when realistically you could move him this year, even if it's for a third, which I think you could get something higher, but even if it's for a third, you get a pick this year that you could turn into a cornerback or a safety or a defensive tackle or another Michael Gallup and turn and burn.
It's only makes sense. It only makes sense for you to do the smart thing.
They're not going to pay Michael Gallup $15 million next summer.
No, they're not going to pay him. He's not, and he's going to want that money. He's not going to sit there and say,
get it. Go let Michael Go let Michael Gallup get his Laurent Robinson money, please. Go let him. He's earned it. Go let him get it. Go. He'll be another wide receiver that Dak Prescott made, and he can go get it.
Oh yeah, sorry about a Glock, man. I'll have to check my settings. I apologize for everything in the building. I've never seen this before. So I'm gonna have to go in there and check this. It's a Google moderator, came out of nowhere. So kind of just be careful when you're saying things because that Google moderator jumps in there and times people out. I got to go in my settings. I didn't have a chance to get in my settings because I came home straight from work. But I'm going to get in my settings and try to take care of that. So be careful when you're making these posts because that Google moderator comes out of nowhere and be blocking people and stuff. So I do apologize about that. It's nothing. No, none of us guys are doing. It's that Google moderator on that.
The Kimbe Mutombo.
Yeah, you feel me? You feel me?
No.
You feel me? So it be tripping. So I do apologize, y'all, but it's nothing that we're doing in here. But just some few final thoughts before I let you head out of here, Mike. Okay, we go after the draft. Do you think that they will pick up because do you think they actually will go out there and get somebody this time because there will be an inordinate amount of players that will be released because of this cap? Do you think Steven, because he's so conscious of it and they're already talking about how the cap is going to drop, do you really think he would step out there and do something like that?
No.
Exactly. If he's already penny pitching and this is a cap that's dropping, why would he go out there and get somebody?
But he wouldn't do it either way.
Right.
So I said this, and this is factual information. You either do sign the quarterback and they use a quarterback contract as a reason they bargain bin free agency, or you don't sign the quarterback and they use a quarterback contract as a reason they bargain in free agency. Those are your two options. Either way, they're going to blame the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And my homeboy just sent me, shout out to my guy, Jamie O'Dea. He just sent me this, and this was almost kind of common knowledge that they should have never did in the first place. But now we're hearing that the Cowboys are going to move Reggie Robinson from safety back to cornerback.
So Cheeto's gone.
Exactly. Yeah. Cheeto's going to have to be gone because if they moving Reggie Robinson back to corner, they're looking at.
That's what that means. They're done because once again, Stephen Jones would pay $285 million on edge rushers before he would spend $14 on coverage. And until that philosophy changes, this team will never do anything in the playoffs. Coverage wins. Period. And they truly believe that if you spend money on the edge and you put premier players on the edge, nothing else matters. Edge and linebackers.
Exactly. And they won't touch that middle and they won't touch the back end and they get average to mediocre players in the secondary and they keep
meanwhile you got running lanes, you got the seams wide open because you got below replacement level safety play, and DeMarcus Ware's running outside the edge while Robert Griffin runs up the middle for another 30 yards.
Yep.
Wait, did I just flash back 15 years?
Yeah, you definitely flash back with that one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dog. It's just, like I said, well, I guess we're just going to have to be in this wait and see process to see what's going to happen. But to me, it just feels like the same old thing. I know what you said about McCoy, and I hear what you're saying that, he does give great leadership and if he comes in cheap. But I just feel like the way it is like you're just waiting for him to, get better and then we'll come get you back. It's just like, go look for somebody else. Why are you just, we'll keep you in mind, and then you do go out. I mean, there's going to be other players besides freaking Gerald McCoy, dog.
Go get Tomlinson.
But they won't do that. That's what you really need to get. You go out there and get some nuts, baby nuts Jones. Go over there and baby nuts Jones and holler at Thomason. And when they say, oh, no, we want Thomason. No, you say, no, we want him. And you take him from your rival. And then you get a couple dog defensive tackles still in the draft. And then you have competition like no other. That's the whole point of it. Don't you think, Mike? Competition, putting the best competition out there, and whoever gets out there wins it.
All right. So I'm going to say this, and this is going to be my mic drop. So, did Deion Sanders put this team over in the early '90s to win a couple Super Bowls?
Charles Haley too.
Okay. Stephen Jones almost punched Jerry Jones in the face over the contract hit in the trade for Deion Sanders. Bye.
My dog. Appreciate you.
Peace.
That's why I love Mike. We just be in and out. And I'm about to head up out of here too because I'm kind of sleepy. Got dinner ready, but I love Mike. What he does. That's how I mess with him. He just comes in. He just bangs out, and then that's just what it is. But just to finish off what he's saying with that, just like he said, Cowboys when they lost that game, those in '94. Jerry was like, I'm not going to go through that. I'm going to go out there and what did they need? They needed that one player. And he said, I'm going to spend that money to get him. And you hear what he's saying, Stephen Jones. And I had made a post about what Brian brought us. He said, Jerry Jones has always been that light the fire, throw the fire on the coals, go hot, go hot. And he said, Stephen Jones is always behind him with the water hose, putting out the fire. So it's almost like he's like not the bad son, but like I said, the horizon where I thought I was happy with Stephen Jones coming on is not happy now. And like I said, we'll see what happens with this Dak contract. I'm not excited about it. I don't think things are going to change, but we'll see. You're already talking about bringing Gerald McCoy. Me, I'm not excited about that. He has some leadership, and he was helping Neville Gallimore and all that good stuff. But it's like Mike was saying, with this cap dropping, you've already seen, was it Kyle Van Noy already get cut after 1 year? This is not going to be the only person that's going to be cut because these other teams are going to be panicking about that cap and they're not going to be able to afford. And one of the things that they were talking about at the beginning of the season that a lot of people may not have been paying attention to was they were saying at the beginning of the season, a lot of high-priced veterans were going to get cut. Whereas if it wasn't a COVID season, they would probably still be on their teams. But with this cap dropping the way it is, because I think the cap was supposed to be like 210, 212, $15 million, and it's going to be 180. So that's going to be a drop of the expectation. So if you say it was going to be 215, let's say if the cap was going to be 210 and it's going to be like 180 right there, that's 30 million. So that's shaving some of those guys that your top guys, you're going to keep younger people because they're going to be cheaper. You're going to keep probably maybe those top dogs probably going to get it because they're not going to afford it. And that cap is dropping. So this is a year where it's going to happen that guys are going to be available. But what we said before is you're still not going to go out there and get them. You're still talking about bringing back a McCoy like we're supposed to jump up and down for that, when there may be some players that are going to be out there that wouldn't be out there any other time that you can go ahead and holler at, but you're still going to be Baby Nush Jones and be scary. And just like he said, the real cojones is go out there and let's go out there and go after the Thomason from the Giants. That's a guy that can help your team instantly right now, can make your team better in the middle, and you can still draft a couple defensive tackles, good ones. So then you're creating super competition. You get a couple, a linebacker or two, you get a couple corners, you're moving Reggie Robinson back to corner. You are creating competition across the board. That's the main thing about it. When you got other players feeling like they don't have competition behind them, that's why they be rolling swaggy. That's why they be talking. And like I said, that's why Xavier Woods can come in the media and say, everybody don't play 100% of the time. You know why? Because there was no recourse for benching him because who'd you have behind him? They have nobody to bench him. It was like I said, when a kid knows, I've had it when I've coached teams, when a kid knows, there's been years I only had like 15 kids instead of like 30 or 40 kids. And when you have 15 kids and 11 players got to play, and some of them guys on the field is okay. When you have one of your dogs and he's missing and he don't feel like coming to practice and he looking at the team like, Coach, you need me. I ain't coming to practice today. You need me, so I can go ahead and take a day off. You feel me? Like players do that when they see there's going to be no recourse, and they're like, "Who are you going to bench me for?" So they get a little bit more cocky, and I feel like that was going on here. There wasn't the competition on certain positions where they felt like, if you bench me, who you going to play? And when a player knows that, they act different. Just the truth. What up? What up, Tuck? Hell no. No Francis Bernard and no middle linebacker. He's an undrafted player. Hell to the no. No, no hate on what no hate on you, but hell no. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even high on him when he was on the team. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people was hyping him, but I ain't no disrespect to him. But no, I was never like high on him. Like when I saw him at College of Utah, I didn't see what these people were seeing. He was getting washed out, didn't see the speed. I didn't see all that. So hell no. They need to get dogged. And we don't have them. We have average to mediocre. We got a few really good players. We don't have no great players across the board. And if they don't address free agency, like we think they're gonna do, they're not gonna do. The best hope that we can have, just like Mike was talking about, if they allow Dan Quinn to go in there, and I believe that's the reason why maybe they got him too, was because they're like, okay, we keep hearing these people crying about defensive tackle and safety. Well, this guy does it. So we'll just back off and let him go through the draft, and hopefully that's what they'll do, like they did with Marinelli, and back up because we know Dan Quinn gets defensive tackles. No matter what, Quinn is going to get a defensive tackle, bar none. If you go through his history as teams that he's coached, been a part of, he gets defensive tackles. He gets at least two, damn near every time he's in the draft. And like I said, there's never been a defensive tackle that he's drafted that's been under 305 pounds. And he gets them heavy ones. He gets the 330s, the 340s. You feel me? If he'll get a heavy guy, he'll get a medium guy. So he'll get like a 350 or a 340, and then he'll come back and get like a 315 or a 310 agile, maybe three tech, a guy who can be versatile. But he'll get a sole one tech. He will do that. So to his credit, that's why I will go. And he does get a safety because just like when I had Barry and Matt on the other day, free safety George Teague yesterday. It's a critical part of the offense, especially if you're playing in a zone. They're making the calls. They're putting those guys in the positions. They're talking to people all the time. And just like, they said, that's why I like bring the players on. They were saying there was no communication on the back end. And if we don't get a guy to communicate on the back end, it's going to be the same damn thing. And that's why I don't want the Xavier Woods signing again, because I feel like if you bring back an Xavier Woods or you sign Xavier Woods, you're telling everybody that we're just selling for mediocre. He has not going to get any better. He is plateaued as a player. He was a 6th-round draft pick, number 1, and he's not sweet like that. So if you bring him back to a contract, doesn't he feel entitled in a way? Just like maybe an Anthony Brown. You paid him after he missed half the year with injuries, and he got rewarded with a new contract, and his play was suspect going into it. I feel like that's a little bit of entitlement that comes, man, with that. Just me, on my opinion. So McNeil, definitely. I would definitely take McNeil. Marvin Harrison, McNeil. Those would be my top guys. I like Barr more, but he won't get past 10 unless a trade. And I don't know if I'm too ballsy to do something like that. He would be the only defensive tackle I would take there because of his age. He's young and he has all those traits and he has the size. He'd be the only guy, but I think you can get the Marvin Wilsons or the McNeil in the 2nd or the 3rd round, especially if you stay at that top part of it and you don't do any trades. So it can definitely happen. So that's why I think they probably hopefully let Quinn do it because those other guys have proved, like I said, when I showed that list of the defensive players that have been drafted since 2010, defensive tackles and safeties have not been good. So we'll just see what goes on from there and, kind of just go on with it. But that's what it is, man. I really appreciate you. What's up, Scott? Just really appreciate you guys jumping in. You know how we do it, Mike. Burgers and blitzes all day. Uh, I talked to, I had the interview with George yesterday. I told him, I said, hey, dog, come on, man. Put Mario back in there. Man, holla at Mario. Tell him to get on here because he was just on your show the other day. So I hit up Mario, like, what's up, dog? So he said he was going to get back on. He hit me today and said, let's do it. So hopefully we'll get that one popping. I told him, hell, we could have him and George. I'd be cool to have Mario and George on there because they balled with each other. You know what I'm saying? They've been around it. Well, I don't know. Did they ball? I think they play with each other. So I want to get Mario's point. Yeah, George was super on point, Steve. He was super on point what he was talking about, especially when he was talking about making the calls, tapping somebody, looking over here, seeing certain things. I love hearing that type of stuff, man, because, then when you look on the field, you can see if that's not happening, you're wondering, oh, why did this happen? Well, Here you go. And then he said, when you see free safety getting beat and you're like, oh, it's his fault. But a lot of times it's not of their fault. And you can hear those things. That's why I like talking to those guys. So hopefully we can get Mario on here in the next few days. He said he was down to do it, and I'll be cool to bring George on with him. I'm cool with that, definitely. But I definitely want to get his insight on Marvin Wilson from Florida State, Asante Samuel Jr. played for Florida State, and some other guys that safety as well. Some, because he was the player personnel over there from like 2012 at Florida State, and he was a coach on the field. So I want to get his thoughts on those guys, and just like I did with George with the Alabama guys. Um, and then uh, my guy, Boss Cowboys Saturday. We do the final thought. So just make sure. Yeah, there you go, J Tuck. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, Prince, for sure. We need to address it for sure. Uh, but keep tuning in. Yeah, I know, right? Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, if we can get Mario in the next couple days, make sure you join into that. Make sure you holler at that. That's gonna be real nice. It's gonna be tight. And you know how we do. Keep on doing what we do. I got that JC horn. I was gonna drop it earlier today, but I got a little busy. But it is finished, so I'll get ready to drop that JC horn. If you want to check it out, it's his tape 2019 against the Clemson Tigers. So make sure you check that out, see how you like it, give it a good like, a good view, all that good stuff. And then let's get ready to um hopefully get Mario Evers. I'm losing my train of thought. My mind is going a million places, so I apologize. But yeah, get ready for that Mario Edwards, hopefully within the next couple days. JC Horn video is getting ready to drop. And my dog, Boss Cowboys on Saturday with me with our final thoughts. Go check out his video right now. I don't know if he's going on live right now, but he brought economics guy on his show to kind of an agent, sports agent type thing, economics guy. So and they're breaking down the economics of Dax deal, other deals. So make sure you go check that out. Really good information that boss is going to bring, which I'm definitely going to do a replay on it. So make sure you go check that out for sure. But you know how we do. Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, all day, all night. Give me some fire emojis before I head out of there. Give me some fire fresh. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jim. I ain't too happy with them guys, so I ain't giving them no love right now. I ain't giving them guys. I ain't even gonna mention their names. I ain't even giving no love right now, Jim. They've been tripping around the way, so they ain't getting no love from me. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, uh, you know how we do, man. Hit me up with them fire emojis as we head out of here. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to the subs. Shout out, get out there and sub. Get out there and like this before it ends. Shout out to my dog, the ninja with the hollers today. Shout out to my dog, Jim Laws with the hollers. Who else do we hit with the hollers? Shout out to my dog, Steve Lumpton with the hollers. All that good stuff, man. Appreciate you, man. Fire emojis all here all day. Shout out to y'all. I love you for life. You say BGJ, if we have hell yeah, come on, ready? I'm keeping Coop over Gallup all day, dog. Like Gallup is I like Gallup, but he ain't better than Cooper. Nah, ain't no more of that. Nope. Nope, ain't no more of that KMT. I ain't mentioning them the guys no more. Once you play me, you know what I'm saying? Once you play me and do some old silly stupid stuff, I ain't mentioning your name no more. You ain't get no love from me, so I ain't mentioning them names no more. I ain't mentioning their name. You know what I'm saying? KMT, they ain't get mentioned. You feel me? I was going to go hunt for them, try to play me. You know what I'm saying? With some silly stuff. So they ain't getting no more love. Even if I'm at the spot, they ain't getting mentioned. You ain't seen the background. You ain't seen the shirt. You ain't seen none of that no more. So that's how we do over here. You play the game like that, ain't no love to the other side. So ain't no love to them no more. What, really? You taking Gallup over Cooper? Oh, I just can't agree with you with that. He's not even close to Cooper at all. Like, he's not close to Cooper at all. Sorry. Gallup can't hold Cooper's job. Yeah, who knows? But it ain't gonna be them guys, KMT. No love from me no more. But hey, salutes. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Tune in. Another hot interview coming. Hot interviews coming on. You know how we do. Let's do the damn thing. Everyone, Blue Nation. Big Game James. I'm out. Peace. Love y'all.